In this video, we are comparing the Michelin Primacy 5 versus the Bridgestone Alenza 001, two of the leading comfort SUV tyres out there in the market. We won't guess, we will test them in wet grip, dry control, noise comfort and rolling resistance to find out which of these two tyres actually suits your SUV's daily driving needs. Let's find out. Hey guys, have you guys ever experienced a wet braking accident? So here we are at the wet braking track to find out how each tyre performs at different wet braking distances. So this car actually accelerates all the way from 80 all the way down to 0, and we are looking at the braking distance. Bam, here. And we will evaluate different tyres to see how much this distance actually differs.
In wet braking, the Michelin immediately established a safety margin. The Primacy 5 stops 35.1 meter, while the Bridgestone requires 38.1 meter, a 3 meter longer stop for the Alenza 001. That's roughly half a car length, translating to a 10% disadvantage in emergency braking. On the wet handling lap, the Michelin completes the course in 87.81 seconds, compared to 90.25 seconds for the Bridgestone. That's a 2.44 second gap, or about 3% slower for the Alenza 001. Subjectively, drivers rate the Primacy at 7 versus 6 of the Bridgestone, a 1-point advantage, reflecting higher confidence and more predictable grip.
Guys, have you ever wondered when you are driving in the wet and suddenly when you accelerate and you drive through a puddle, suddenly your cars lose control? This is what we call aquaplaning. And today we are at the aquaplaning track and we're trying to measure how much your slipping speed is. So the car actually goes at top speed, and what we are trying to find out is where your tyre actually stops turning as fast as the other tyre.
In straight line aquaplaning, both tyres are effectively matched. The Michelin leaves at 77.8 km per hour, while the Bridgestone holds on to at 77.9 km per hour. Only a minor 0.1 km per hour difference that translates to no meaningful performance gap in deep water stability.
So for SUVs, dry braking is all about safety and control. In this dry braking test, the SUV stops from 100 km per hour down to 0 to measure how different tyres have different stopping distance. So a shorter stopping distance reduces crash risk and makes heavy family vehicle car much more safer.
In dry braking, the Michelin again takes the lead. The Primacy 5 stops in 36.6 meter, while the Alenza 001 needs 37.9 meter, a 1.3 meter longer braking distance, equivalent to about 4% disadvantage for the Bridgestone. Dry handling tells a more different story. The Bridgestone completes the lap in 52.73 seconds compared to the 53.44 seconds for the Michelin, a 0.71 second advantage for the Alenza 001, or roughly a 1% edge in outright pace. Subjectively, drivers also favour the Bridgestone at 6.91 versus 6.4, a 0.5 point advantage, indicating a slightly sharper and more engaging steering feel.
Noise being one of the critical elements for SUV users, we are actually testing the interior noise of the tyres to see how well it performs. So how do we do it? We actually use a dummy head. So let's have a look. So this is a dummy head. It has two microphones on its ears and it's actually measuring the interior noise of the car at two different speeds and two different surfaces. So why is it so important? So noise is very annoying for especially Asia customers, and we are actually trying to have a more smoother and more comfortable ride, which is what users are looking for SUV tyres.
When it comes to interior noise, it is nearly identical. The Michelin measures 66.3 decibel, while the Bridgestone comes in at 66.5 decibel, a 0.2 decibel difference that is effectively undetectable in real-world driving. When it comes to subjective comfort, the Michelin holds a small lead, scoring a 7 versus 6.8 for the Bridgestone. The difference is subtle, but it consistently places the Primacy 5 more on the refined, smoother riding side. When it comes to efficiency, this is where the Michelin Primacy 5 clearly separates itself. Rolling resistance measures 6.83 for the Michelin versus 8.36 for the Bridgestone. That's a 1.53 coefficient value gap, translating to an 18% efficiency advantage. In practical terms, that means lower fuel consumption for ICE vehicles and extended driving range for EVs over the lifetime of the tyre. In summary, the Michelin Primacy 5 is the more safety and efficiency-focused tyre, delivering clearly stronger wet and dry braking, higher wet road confidence, better ride comfort, and a meaningful advantage in rolling resistance. On the other hand, the Bridgestone Alenza 001 answers back with slightly quicker dry handling, a more engaging steering feel, making it appealing for drivers who prioritize on-road dynamics.
Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe.